This is the simplest high leverage YouTube business model that I've ever seen. I genuinely believe that it can't be beaten because it builds compounding revenue, not just attention. Look at someone like Alex Hamosi. His channel isn't about building views, it's about building leverage. In the past, I've made every single one of these mistakes, and this model fixes all of them. There are 3 tiers to this model, and each one of them has its own job, but together, revenue becomes extremely predictable when we use it. So here's the first one. Now, there are 3 simple groups to tier 1. We're talking about top level YouTube video strategy here as a business. All of the best YouTube businesses do this, and each group has its own job, but most creators don't do it at all. Of those who do, accidentally, a lot of them actually get it wrong. The first group's job is just exposure and attention, but in a very careful, deliberate way, because these videos are broad to attract new viewers, but they are not random. They must attract your ideal customer, and they must connect to your overall end goal over in tier 3 when we get there in a moment. But these videos are packaged so the masses can view them, even if they're not ready for what you have, or perhaps they don't understand it on a deeper level. But there's a massive problem here that's very, very common, because most creators get this wrong, and in the past, I made this mistake myself too. They go too broad. They chase views alone. They think that they're targeting the right people in doing this, but in fact, they're not. The result is that the numbers look good on the outside, but it creates a huge problem for later on in tier 2 and tier 3. For example, if I was to make a video on this particular YouTube channel about how to create a YouTube channel in 2026, I would likely get lots of views in doing that, but I would attract people without businesses, people that would just creating a new YouTube channel, which is not my target, and that's not what I actually want. So even my broadest content on this channel must signal seriousness to the right people. Now, YouTube shows you these video viewers inside your YouTube studio, which is known as new viewers. They are essentially cold traffic, first contact. That's it. This group of videos here is purely to build awareness and then move the viewer on to group 2. Now, group 2 is what naturally follows, because some viewers will return and they liked your content, or you won their attention over twice perhaps, or maybe more times. And interest and trust is forming with the end viewer. So this layer has to be tighter. It has to be more specific. There has to be more detail included in the videos, and you're basically narrowing your message, which again is lined to the rest of the model. Now, for them turning up, you obviously reward their attention by giving them more useful value. Now, some people will definitely lose interest here, and this is good. We want this. We want the right people to lean closer and the wrong people to obviously leave. Now, YouTube Studio labels them as casual viewers, or they used to be called returning viewers in the older style YouTube Studio. But an important distinction to make here is that there is no fixed ratio as to how many of these videos you make. It purely depends on what your business needs at that point in time. And so if you need more new viewers, you make more group 1. If you need to hit those new viewers again, you make more in group 2. And then we move on to group 3, which is where we ultimately want our viewers to end up, because we want to form the best connection we can with them there and basically make these viewers become our core audience. Now, in this third group, a small percentage want to go deeper. They understand and trust what you're saying, and the videos are built purely for them, not for reach. So you should get a lot less views at this stage. They include far more specific niche details, and they speak directly to your core audience's problem. Their purpose is to move those viewers into tier 2, which is where things start to get nicely interesting. So all 3 of those previous groups in tier 1 align. The broadness and intent varies, but the alignment doesn't. And the core one rule here throughout this is that everything points towards this page. Now, at this page, there is just one page, one solution, one core offer, not multiple products and services, not scattered links. It must make sense from all 3 layers in the previous tier 1, because this page applies the filtering principle. The landing page is not just supposed to be persuasive and create customers, but it's supposed to be selective. The wrong person should leave pretty quickly, and the right person should feel understood, because conversion improves when alignment improves. Now, while we're here, there is a second thing going on additionally. Every video should capture email. Creating an email list is purely for sequencing. It's not about diversifying and selling them loads of stuff. The sole objective is control over timing, because when you want to send more people to that page, you're going to use your email list without losing alignment. By the way, if you're serious about a YouTube business and you want operator level help, then there's a link in the description down below. Now at this stage, I need to share something very important, because this is where most people fail, and it's not because their offer, product or channel even is bad, but it's because they're guessing. You must track everything. Track which videos send clicks, which videos send people to email, track which traffic converts, track the conversion rate on the actual page, track the revenue per 1,000 views, because the underlying point is you don't fail when your revenue is low. You fail when you do not know why. When everything's aligned and tracked, you know the outcome before it even happens, and so you can act appropriately. So let's not hang around and let's move on to tier 3, because this is perhaps for some of you the most interesting stage of all. Now here we don't add complexity. I've made this mistake in the past myself multiple times, and the trick is to optimize for proximity and intensity, not different options. It works for SaaS, education, fitness, consulting, all manner of businesses. Now watch this, because first of all, this first little layer here is the entry level. So this is our core product, our core service. It's the first point of contact as a customer, and it solves that one aligned problem that I've been talking about right from the very beginning that has moved them all the way along here, and it does that effectively. If you haven't got a good solution and a good product, then really you should be doing something else anyway. It lowers friction to the next level, however, which is basically the advanced level, because they're already customers, and it builds trust rapidly because your first layer has already started to solve their problem. But what I'm trying to say here is it's the same problem, just at a higher level with more assistance from you. To do this, you might need to increase your involvement. You might need more mechanisms for implementation, more accountability, or more proximity to you perhaps as a person if you're part of the solution. Which then takes us on to the third and final level, which is where we still want to add a ton of more value, but this is our inner circle, if you like. This is the most advanced stage. This costs the most, and it takes the most of your time and your team's time. However, it's the same customer and the same problem. That's the point here. It's just at a different speed and a different depth, and that's how you effectively monetize the customers as much as possible. So what's this? Subscription bubbles. It could be community, software, ongoing support. Why? Because recurring revenue increases your leverage without increasing your audience size. To reiterate, tier 1 multiplies attention, tier 2 multiplies conversion, and tier 3 multiplies revenue per customer. Now, the final and most underrated of all the steps is the flywheel accelerator, which we've got at the end here. And this is absolutely crucial. So when depth works, people get real results, and the results create proof. Proof strengthens your content, your offering, your product. It enhances absolutely everything. Just like the early videos on this particular channel, if you haven't seen them yet, go back and check them out after this one. But my point is this: case studies, big wins, reviews, testimonials are all strength, and they're part of the flywheel effect, which allows you to provide compounding growth to this overall model. So make the most of it. Use it on your offer page, use it in your content where possible, because it creates further compound growth, and that's what matters. You know it, I know it, and these 7 YouTube operators certainly know it. So check out what they're doing in this next video here. It's a really interesting one. Thanks for watching.